Many parents, especially new parents, have a great source of anxiety when it comes to their babies crying. It's really easy to listen to someone else's baby cry, but it's really hard when your own is crying because you want the best for your baby and you feel like you need to respond to that. And in many cases, you do need to respond, but there are other times when your baby just needs to be left alone because they just want to cry. It's actually a way for your baby to release energy and tension, and it's also the only way that they have to communicate with you. So over time, you'll get well acquainted with your baby's cries and get to know what your baby's trying to tell you when they cry. Some cries mean that your baby is hungry. Others mean that they have a wet diaper or they need to be changed. Sometimes they're tired, or sometimes they're just in need of a little bit of love. And then other times, like I said, there is no good explanation for it. They're just relieving a little bit of tension. So if your baby's starting to cry, here's a few different things you can do to help your baby and to comfort them. First of all, you probably noticed yourself doing it or another parent. As soon as you pick up a baby, you just naturally start rocking them in your arms. And babies love to be rocked, whether this is in your arms or it's in a rocking chair. Either way, babies love to be rocked. That swaying motion is really comforting to them. They also like constant noises. So, you know, you've heard mothers say, I turned on the vacuum cleaner and my baby stopped crying, or the constant noise of a running dryer. Or you can actually just buy little noise machines that play constant noise, whether it be white noise or maybe the sound of beach waves or something like that. That can be soothing to a baby too. A lot of parents just simply say, shh, shh, over and over again, and that will calm their baby. They're not necessarily telling them to be quiet, but that noise calms their baby down. Swaddling helps a lot. A lot of babies love to be tightly wrapped because that's how they're used to being in the womb. And so if you wrap your baby tightly, actually there's a couple of different ways to swaddle. It depends on what you're doing. If you're just, you know, going to be holding your baby and your baby's awake, then put your baby down on the floor with, you know, the 4 points of the blanket out on the floor. Fold one down, put your baby's head on top of the folded point. Pull one side around your baby's back and then pull your baby's knees up so that you're not swaddling your baby with straight legs. Pull that corner up and then the third one around your baby's back and then hold them and rock them. And a lot of times they respond well to that. Babies also like singing because it's, again, one of those soothing noises, especially if it comes from you, because they're calmed by your voice. If your baby's crying because they're in pain, maybe it's gas pain, and so try burping your baby or putting them on your lap on their tummies, or rubbing their back or on their back and rubbing their tummy. Sometimes that helps. You can do bicycling motions with their feet to try to work gas bubbles out if just simply burping doesn't help. Some babies respond well to warm baths because it's just comforting to them. And some babies fall right to sleep as soon as you get in the car. So if all else fails, maybe you can go for a car ride, but make sure that your baby's properly restrained in a car seat and that you're not too tired to be driving. If your baby's still crying and you just can't figure out what's going on, it might be that they're a little bit uncomfortable, that their clothing's too restrictive or something, so try a head-to-toe approach and just check your baby out from head to toe. We tried this with my son once, and he was normally a really good baby, but this particular night we couldn't figure out what was going on with him. So I checked him out from head to toe, and as soon as I got to his little feet, I realized that his jammies were too small and his feet had just grown monstrously large without me realizing it. So as soon as I took his little feet out of his jammies, he was fine. If you just, in the end, can't figure out what's going on with your baby and they're still inconsolably crying, especially if this is happening on a regular basis, it would be best to talk to the pediatrician. They can make sure that there's not any medical conditions causing your baby pain or discomfort, and they can decide if any treatment is necessary if there are issues. Also remember that your baby may be safest crying in their crib rather than in your arms if you're getting frustrated. You are a responsible parent, not a bad parent, if you let your baby cry for a few minutes in the crib while you cool down. We actually, before patients leave from the hospital, talk to all mothers and fathers about shaken baby syndrome. And the reason we speak to everyone about it is because no one's immune from the frustrating feelings that can develop when you have a crying baby. So you know if your baby's crying and they're in their crib, they're in a safe environment and they're crying, they're alive, they're okay, they just are crying. So it's okay to set them down for a few minutes, take a breather for a second, and then go pick them up 5 or 10 minutes later. And also enlist the help of friends and family who can hold your baby if you're having a hard time, and talk to your doctor if you're becoming depressed or having issues because your baby is having issues with colic or is excessively fussy. If you'd like to see more tips like this each week, be sure to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our posts, and share it with your friends and family.